I love this game. I started feeling good. I started playing well. I was asked to play on the house team, which was a pretty big honor. It just made sense to keep pushing myself, even though it made no sense to keep pushing my body. I ended up making my own team. I had a team that I was playing with at the old arena back near the fairgrounds. A bunch of friends from Eastern. We go over there. We ended up having a pretty tough transition. Internationals significantly bigger than ABQ indoor, and we were getting hit on the counter constantly. Because of this, we ended up losing enough games that I don't even think we made the semifinals. Enough teams dropped out for the final that we ended up being invited to play, and figured, well, why not take our chance, get another shot at the best team. Zach Castell plays on this team, probably one of the best players in Albuquerque. Me and him have had a pretty cool rivalry over the years. Started with all the way back in high school. I was a sophomore at Sandia. He was a senior at Highland. Played each other twice. And then from there, we just played each other at indoor all the time. Really intense and epic battles throughout the years. Sometimes our rivalry kind of bordered on a little bit too impassioned. There were a few times that I have feared for my safety when playing against him. We're playing in this final. My Achilles had been bothering me for like 2 weeks at this point. I shouldn't have been playing anyway. We're down by like 4 or 5 goals. Game's over. I should have just threw in the towel, stayed on the field. Tried to take on the bull. I got the horn. I got the ball from the right side of the field. I tried to turn it up to the left side toward the glass. I thought I could use the glass to my advantage because you're not supposed to play too hard against the glass. So I thought I could take a long touch past the glass, and then Zach would kind of back off because what else is he going to do right there? Well, I'll tell you what he's going to do right there. He's going to ram me into the wall. Honestly, that initial contact, it was bad, probably a yellow card, but that would have been it. That didn't cause the concussion. That wasn't the contact that really damaged the situation. The problem was that as he backs off from me, he doesn't back off with the intention of stepping back. He's backing up with the intention of ramming me again into the wall. Because of the contact, I got disorientated, and you can see that I end up getting turned into the wall, and as I'm falling backwards, I don't have any idea where I'm falling towards, and I don't have my hands to catch myself. So falling back first, I was probably going to fall pretty hard regardless, but because he backed up and was ready for a second impact, I ended up falling straight on his knee on the back of my head right here. That was the contact that caused the concussion. Immediately have a reaction to. The crazy thing about it was that it hurt like hell. Instant pain to my head and even shot down my back and into my shoulders a little bit. Like I remember letting out a scream, and it had nothing to do with the pain that I was feeling. It was more of this scream of relief. Thank goodness I'm rolling around right now. Had it been a few inches a threat to my brainstem, and I'm just very grateful that it wasn't worse than it was. In the video here, I had to sneak in and get this, so I would have probably recorded the 2 minutes that I was rolling around on the ground before I actually was able to get up and walk off the field on my own 2 feet. Those type of images are important because give us the awareness of maybe we should be smarter about these plays. There's a reason to not play like that against the glass. Speaking of things that are important, it's important to remember too that Zach did apologize to me after the game. He was very genuine about it, felt bad about it. He had a conversation with a few of his teammates even before he came over to talk to me, and that meant a lot at that time. It means a lot to me today, but I'm not going to sit here and act like it's been easy to forgive him over these years. The repercussions of the concussion were pretty devastating for years. I had to go to the emergency room twice in the first week of dealing with the concussion. My first time back at the arena to work, I probably could keep my eyes open for maybe 50% of it. Couldn't stand on my feet. Dizzy, I was disoriented. Light sensitivity was absolutely blinding, making me nauseous. The noise in the arena too was making my head rattle, and it got to the point where I had to leave the arena altogether. I couldn't play. I barely finished the semester of school that I had, and I had to drop the next semester. That moderate to heavy symptoms for about 6 months. Out here while I was living in Phoenix, I ended up having a vertigo spell for 2 or 3 months until I was able to figure out a different routine in order to try to combat that a little bit. To me, those type of things all kind of stem from that same place. Saying all of that, I still would rather have dealt with the repercussions of the concussion because of the botched rehab with my hip. There was things with the concussion that I had to go to doctors for. They were a lot different, and I already had a commitment to bettering my own mental health, so it made a lot more sense to have to deal with something that had to do with my brain, even if it became the physical aspect rather than the psychological aspect, rather than trying to put my trust in another doctor to try to repair my body again. It's like picking between a hive of bees and a live anthill. I wouldn't want to put the choice in anybody else's hands. I'm just saying how I have learned to view it, because what else am I gonna do? I took that literal smack on the head and used it for what it was worth. It was kind of like divine intervention telling me, hey, look, you need to really take a look at how you're taking care of yourself every day and rethink a lot of the things that you're doing. And that was important because it made me make the full break with soccer rather than just the half break. I think no matter whether you've been a part of my soccer story or not, if you've been a part of my life, you know that soccer is a huge part of it. Most of the people in my circle are still in the soccer world, so it's really hard to walk away.